Good people, good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you maybe till 3 o'clock. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Nobody's here to pass me a note to say, hey, we got to get out of here. So there's a good chance I'll be on till 3 o'clock. Um, the phone number 717 King. That's 717 5464. Of course, 513 is the area code. 513 is the area code, 717 King. If you decide you want to, chime in, get on board, join the conversation, have anything to say, or, anything like that. 717 King. Got a few things that I want to discuss today. Good afternoon, LaDonna. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's right. Stop. Take a minute, if you don't mind. Take a minute and just say hi. My mama used to tell me, you don't walk in a room and not say hi to people. That's rude. She used to tell me that all the time. And I had to admit, she was telling me that because I would walk in the room and not say hi to people. And I would always say, but they didn't say hi to me. Like, I walked in the room. Everybody can just say hi. And then I'd be like, hey, everybody. And it'd be good. Why I gotta, but that's what she used to tell me. So, I'm just passing that on to y'all. Tina, Terry, Anthony, Michelle, Tria, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I got a few things that I gotta discuss with y'all today. A few things that I gotta discuss with y'all today. But there's this thing going on. Okay, it's Pride Month. You see, I got on I don't know what this is. It's not purple. It's not pink. It's somewhere in between. I know there's like an actual color for it. I don't know colors like that. I don't know colors like that. So I wore this specifically for Raz, or I don't remember how you said you pronounce it. I wore this specifically for him. Purple Rain. Hey, I ain't seen you in a minute, Purple Rain. Angela. Let's see, Robert, Timothy. She says it's mauve. Mauve. That's how you pronounce it, ain't it? Whatever. Whatever. I wore this specifically for you, Roz Freeman. It's apparently if you wear something in the purple pink family, he says that means you're gay or you're going to a concert. And I do have to. I went to this thing. There's the little improv comedy thing up there in Clifton. The little improv comedy whatever club. They do a thing. It's like their take on Saturday Night Live. They do this thing called Cincinnati Night Live on Saturday nights. And I went to that. It was decent. It was decent. Now I'll tell you, I'm a hard sell when it comes to comedy. Like, and I don't know why. I got a problem. I got an issue. But I will sit through a comedy show. And my thing is, you a comedian, you at work, make me laugh. I'm not just laughing because you say something. Put in some work. I imagine you're getting paid something. It's your job to make me laugh. So I'm sitting here and I'm not laughing at something that ain't funny. So, I had a decent time. I had a decent time. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed myself. I wasn't rolling on the floor laughing or nothing like that. But, I got some good chuckles out of it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Where in Clifton? Right there on Ludlow. Like on Ludlow, like across from like the PNC Bank on Ludlow. Yeah. Jerika says hello. Jerika says hello. She says I'm fancy. Fancy. Brent, good afternoon. GC, good afternoon. David, um, you're a hard sell when it comes to anything. I'm not 100% sure what that means. Nice sports coat. I hate when people call it a sports coat. I'm not playing no sport. I don't know how it ever got that name. Sports coat. But that's just me. That's just me. Um, all right, let's see. I think I have to deal with Tina. I think I have to deal with Tina. I was watching the Lincoln Ware show, which I do. I watched the Lincoln Ware show, and they were talking about guns because y'all know the new gun thing is in effect, and I'll talk about that a little later. And they were talking about getting guns, and Tina says something to the effect of, "We're not at war," and I'm like, "Yeah, we are at war." And she asks, "It's a simple question, legit question. With who? With who? Who are we at war against?" And I'll tell you at 1 o'clock. So I'm here to tell you who we are at war with. Who we are at war with. We're at war with a whole lot of people. We're at war on a lot of different fronts. But I'm gonna share this story with you. And even though this isn't us, let me make the point. Okay? Just don't interrupt me. Let me make the point first. And then you can disagree if you'd like to disagree. I'm sure most of you heard about this story. In Idaho, there was some sort of pride event, because y'all know it's gay pride month. It's gay pride month. A little more on that later on too. But it's gay pride month. Well, apparently the police got a tip from somebody who said they saw, hold on, let me see if I can find the exact quote of what they said. Police were tipped off by a citizen who said they saw a large group of people wearing masks and donning shields like a little army jumping into a U-Haul truck Saturday afternoon at a hotel parking lot. I'm going to repeat that just because I think it bears repeating. Police were tipped off by a citizen who said they saw a large group of people wearing masks and donning shields like a little army jumping into a U-Haul truck. This was Saturday afternoon in a parking lot. Okay, about 10 minutes later, police pulled over the truck as it traveled towards downtown on Northwest Boulevard. And inside the truck, there were 31. This is a regular U-Haul truck. Unsuspected. You can go rent a U-Haul truck right now. Right now. Inside there were 31 looked like white supremacists. And they had shields, they had face masks, they had shin guards, they found smoke grenades. Well, they found at least one smoke grenade. And these people were going to disrupt this peaceful pride parade. This peaceful gay pride parade. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, that's bad, but what that got to do with us, Emanuel? And I hate that a lot of times some of us don't put things together. If they don't have a problem jumping in a U-Haul, going to a peaceful pride parade to start mayhem, what make you think they would have a problem going to a Juneteenth celebration to start mayhem, or going to a peaceful protest to start mayhem, or going to, a music festival that's predominantly Black to start mayhem and just show up? Because who gonna think about it? Oh, we rolling through in our U-Haul truck. Hey, there's a U-Haul truck. Oh my God, honey, something's gotta be wrong. Nobody thinks that. We see U-Haul trucks all the time, and you don't think anything about it. Yeah, these people got in it. They were arrested. A group of men in blue shirts and masks were arrested. And they were charged with, but let me see, the leader at least was charged with conspiracy to create a riot. The men called themselves the Patriot Front. They arrived at, I can't pronounce the name of this city, y'all. I can't pronounce the name of the city. I don't speak French. It looked like some French stuff. Inside a U-Haul truck, police pulled over. They say only one of them was from Idaho. The rest came from Washington, Arkansas, Colorado, Illinois, Oregon, South Dakota, Texas, Virginia, and Wyoming. They came from all of those spots to this city in Idaho to disrupt a peaceful parade or celebration. Yeah, from Washington, Arkansas, Colorado, Illinois, Oregon, South Dakota, Texas, Virginia, and Wyoming to pile into the back of a U-Haul truck and go create problems. We are at war. We are at war. Because this type of stuff, it's not just going to happen with the GBLT community. It's not just going to happen with them. It's gonna, trust me, if you don't believe anything else I've ever told you, believe this. If they got away with this and were able to do whatever it was that they planned to do. Now, just for the record, I don't know exactly what they planned on doing. I don't know exactly what they planned on doing. But if I have to know exactly what they planned on doing to know that it was nefarious, then we're in a bad spot. You maybe they were just going to celebrate the Pride Month. And maybe that's what they were doing. They piled into the back of a U-Haul truck to celebrate Pride. They wanted to show up and surprise everybody, like a surprise party. Surprise! Jazz fingers. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to do something like that. Say, hey, we're here, and you're queer, and we celebrate you. And so we brought out our shields and our shin guards and our smoke grenades just to say Happy Pride Month. Maybe, I guess there is, you can't rule anything out. So maybe there was a chance that that's what they were going to do. But I think reason dictates that we maybe look at it as maybe a little more nefarious. That possibly, they weren't going there for honorable reasons. Yeah, Jason, maybe it was a pink smoke grenade, and they didn't explode it or detonate it or whatever. So we don't really know. But again, reason dictates that we look at it and say it's possible that they were going there to do some bad stuff. It's possible that people came from these, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and including Idaho, 10 states. People gathered from 10 states. Now, these people not playing. They not out here playing. They're out here trying to hurt people. They're out here trying to create havoc. This is terrorism. This is terrorism. I don't remember the exact definition of terrorism, but when you're trying to create fear in people based on some political motive, think that's like close to the definition of terrorism. This is terrorism. They won't be charged with that. They won't be charged with domestic terrorism, but that's what this was. Had they been allowed to get away with it, that was the plan. That was the plan. So yeah, we are at war. We are at war. Let me see my used car outfit, used car salesman outfit. Okay, I can see that. Used car salesman. I can see that. It works on that level. Hold on. Oh, come on, E-Man. Take your head out of the sand. What am I taking my head out of the sand about, Edward? What am I taking my head out of the sand about? People say stuff like that, but it's just, my guess is, this is my guess. Because I've been doing this for a minute. My guess is Edward did not comprehend what I said. And he believes that I said the exact opposite of what I actually said. And that's sad. But that's my guess. My guess is he believes I was saying the exact opposite of what I was saying. Homegrown terrorists. Okay, what about it? They were domestic terrorists. So what, again, am I taking my head out of the sand about? Y'all, I think this conversation will bear out that I was right about him not comprehending, not being able to understand what I was saying. I believe if he responds. Somebody says, I think you look like Mr. I look nothing like Mr. Ware. Nothing like Mr. Ware. You could not confuse me for Mr. Ware under any circumstances. Okay, so that was one story. That was one story. And look. It transitions into two different stories. And I find myself in a strange position. Mentally. I find myself. Because some of the points of some of these stories I'm going to agree with, and other points I'm going to disagree with. Okay? But just look, life is confusing. Life is confusing. So, as I try to figure stuff out, I kind of rely on y'all to help me a little bit. Let's see. Hold on. Where am I at? All right. Second story. I'm telling y'all, these people are serious about what they're doing. And look, I don't believe the white supremacists have a huge problem with the GBLT community. I don't believe they have a huge problem with them. I personally believe a lot of this stuff that you see going on with the GBLT community is kind of like practice runs. Like, we can go and let's see if we can get away with this community. If we can get away with it with this community, we can definitely get away with it for people that we really hate. Because for whatever reason, y'all know that they don't like us as Black people. So then, okay, let's hop in this U-Haul truck and see if we can get away with going down there, causing all kind of havoc. We ain't gonna hurt nobody real bad. We ain't gonna kill nobody, but see if we can get away with it. Good test run, try it out. I don't believe that was the only test run. Proud Boys, they invaded and this is two separate conversations So just roll with me for the first part of the conversation, and then I will get to the second part of the conversation. Sometimes I have to close my eyes to hold stuff back until it's time for it to come out. Proud Boys invade kid-friendly drag queen event in the Bay Area. We'll deal with the kid-friendly drag queen event in just a moment. We'll deal with it. We will deal with it in a moment. But let's deal with the Proud Boys portion first. A group of 5 Proud Boy members disrupted an GBLT event for children. They say there was no physical violence, but they made homophobic and transphobic remarks towards one of the event's hosts. They are, I truly believe this, y'all. I believe that they are trying this stuff out. Y'all know Juneteenth is right around the corner. See what we can do, how we can make it, how we can get this. They're trying this stuff out. I believe. Now, I believe this based on nothing except for history and maybe my paranoia and deductive reasoning skills. A little bit of, my royal powers as well. But I truly believe that these are dry runs. See if we can get in there and we can disrupt this event. And then we got this Juneteenth thing coming up. We can do it on a much larger scale. So just be aware at these Juneteenth events around the country that we go to. Be aware that there might be people there. There might be people there who are there to antagonize and to create something. Just be aware of that. Janice says they hate the GBLT community as much as they hate blacks. Now, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. They don't hate them. I don't think they hate them as much as they hate blacks. I don't think it's true. But that's what I think. And everybody's got a right to their own opinion. But so they went in, they called some names, they yelled some stuff, they created a dust up. The issue is, like I said, I think it's dry runs. Now, let's shift just a little bit and get to the event that they disrupted, which is why I said I'm all over the place on this one. But let's do it. Let's do it. A group of 5 Proud Boy members disrupted the LGBTQ plus event for children at the San Lorenzo Library. There was no physical violence. They made homophobic and transphobic remarks towards one of the hosts. Okay, we dealt with that. I had to breathe before I say this stuff because y'all know I had to think about what I'm going to say before I say it, because people think I'm homophobic and transphobic and all of that kind of stuff. I keep telling people that's not true. Some of my best friends are gay. I've had gay people over my house for dinner. I'm not anti-gay people. I don't like the idea of it, but as long as they ain't, trying to do it to me, they can do what they want to do. Well, except maybe. The event was titled Drag Queen Story Hour and described as just what it seems. Drag queens reading stories to children. Okay, on the surface, is it bad for drag queens to read stories to children? Just on the surface. Is it bad for drag queens to read stories to children? No, on the surface, reading stories to children is not bad because you're a drag queen, okay? I had to start off by saying that. It's not bad on its surface. But why? Why? Okay, I know some of y'all will say, hey, there is nothing wrong with reading stories to children. Maybe more people need to go to the library and read to the children. There ain't nothing wrong with that, Emanuel. See, that's your problem. You're so homophobic. Okay. B-Rab says, uh, would you want a drag queen reading a story to the little baby? Uh, I, well, let me say, if for some strange reason a drag queen happened to be there in her presence, and there just so happened to be a book, you know what I'm saying? Drag queen there, and there just happens to be a book. I wouldn't have a problem with the drag queen reading a story to that little baby. Okay, I wouldn't have a problem with it. So again, yeah, okay, we get the event is just what it seems. Drag queens reading stories to children. The event was hosted by Kyle Chu, or drag queen Panda Dulce, and intended to see. This is where things change, because this is a direct quote. This is a direct quote about the intention. About the intention. See, because if you were like, there's nothing wrong with drag queens reading stories to kids, they're just stories. What do you think? It's gonna turn the kids into drag queens? What do you think? Reading a story, hearing a story read by a drag queen is gonna turn the children gay, Emanuel? Is that what you think? That might be what they think. Because the event was intended to, quote, capture the imagination and play of the gender fluidity of childhood and allow them to imagine a world where people can present as they wish. This is what the stated intention of the event, not just to create a nice atmosphere for children to hear stories. That's not what the event was intended to do. To increase the interest of children in literacy. It's not the intention of the event. That might be an unintended consequence, but that wasn't the intention. To give back to the community by sharing the gift of literacy with children. That wasn't the intent. The intent was clearly stated: to capture the imagination and play of the gender fluidity of childhood, and then to allow them to imagine a world where people can present as they wish. Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with it on the surface either. But that's why you always got to kind of scratch the surface and get under the surface to see what's actually going on. And look, I didn't make this up. I didn't say that this was the intent. Kyle Chu, or Panda Dulce, Panda said this, not me. The drag queen who organized the event, hosted the event, and was reading to the kids said, you know, at this age, they ain't even really thought about what gender they are. So we can kind of play with the fact that right now they're kind of in that gender fluid thing, and maybe manipulate that a little bit. Emmanuel, that's not what he, oh my God. Oh my God. That scared the mess out of me. Commercial. That's not what the drag queen said. That's kind of what the drag queen meant. That's kind of what the drag queen meant. Jason says, do they have to read in drag? Yes, because their purpose has very little to do with reading. The intention stated was not about reading. The intention, if you heard what I heard, the intention is about indoctrination. Look, if you gay and be gay. You know what I'm saying? Be happy and be whatever. I'm cool with that. You do you and him or her, whatever. But at the same time, I'm sorry, my chair just fell. At the same time, okay, we are experiencing technical difficulties. The little baby was mocking me just the other day. Like, Papa, why your chair so wiggly? And my chair just broke on me. But we can keep going. But hold on, let me get myself in a position where I'm a bit more comfortable. Move my little wiggly chair out the way. Plug my headphones back in. But either way you look at it, I will make an adjustment on this camera. Either way you look at it, I really need to bring this other chair over here, but we're going to deal with it in a minute. Either way you look at it, their intention was indoctrination. Their intention was to create a situation where children are more open and susceptible to the suggestion. I'm not hunched over. I'm sitting on a lower chair. But that chair was the perfect height. And now I'm sitting on a lower chair. But I'm gonna I'm gonna work that out in just a minute. But I gotta finish my thought or I'm gonna lose it. At a certain age, when children haven't thought about their sexuality, I think they can be influenced. They can be influenced. And if you can influence them, will that necessarily make them gay? No. But it will create a situation where they're more open to the idea of being gay. If that makes any sense. If that makes any sense. You're mocking me. Don't mock me. Don't mock me. Mrs. Livingston is going to bring my other chair down in just a minute. And I'm gonna get in that chair and then y'all be able to see my whole torso. Y'all be able to see my whole torso. But yeah, my little chair. Well, I see Wyatt talking about Wyatt. Remember, I was telling you about the chair. I was talking about the chair on Saturday. I was talking about the chair on Saturday, and this is exactly what I was telling you about. This is exactly what I was telling you about. Oh. All right, y'all. Hold on. Give me just a minute. Give me just a minute. Hold on. We're going to do this. All right. Whew. Had to go out and fix my chair, and I got to go out and get a new broadcast chair today as soon as the show ends. Maybe I get a throne. Maybe I get a throne. As the king, I should be on a throne anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. And I don't even know if there is a way to recover from your broadcast chair breaking. I don't know if there's a way to recover from that. But either way, either way. So yes, that was the intention of the drag queens reading. Which, I'm I got issues with that. I don't necessarily have issues with gay people, but I do have issues with that. I do have issues with that. Oh, let's see. Let's see. There was something else that was kind of in that kind of pride because I wanted to get all of this stuff out the way so that I can move on and not talk about any more of this stuff. We did that. We did that. There was one other story that was kind of in that whole vein of the gay pride month and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to lump them all together so I could get them done and be out the way. But I don't see the story. So we'll see. We'll see. I might remember it later on. I might remember it later on. Um, also, also in the news, we know that this whole constitutional carry, we know that constitutional carry is goes into effect today. And I know a lot of people are nervous. A lot of people are nervous, but don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. If you want a gun, you can get a gun now. I mean, you could have before. You just, in Ohio, you don't have to ask for permission to exercise your constitutional right to carry a gun. That's really all this means. That's all this means. Like I heard somebody say something about there was a white guy walking down the street with a gun, and they were furious about that. The only thing about that that makes me furious is the difference in the way law enforcement will treat that Caucasian guy with a gun and the way that he would treat me with a gun. But we should both be able to walk down the street carrying a gun. Like, I'm not sure that a lot of y'all think about y'all constitutional rights in the same way that I think about constitutional rights. If I got a right to do it, I shouldn't have to ask for permission. I shouldn't have to ask for permission. It's my right. Imagine a world where I have to ask for permission every time I want to talk. I have to go get a license to speak. Now, sure, under certain circumstances, like you can't necessarily carry a gun into City Hall. I don't actually know if you can or if you can. I haven't looked into it, but they can set up reasonable restrictions. Even though it's your right, they can set up reasonable restrictions. So, okay, you may have to have or get special permission to carry your gun into certain places. That's reasonable. Just like, you go to a city council meeting, you may have to ask for permission to speak. Under those circumstances, reasonable circumstances, you might have to ask for permission to exercise that right. But just in the street, walking down the street, why would I have to ask for permission to exercise my right while walking down the street? Why would I have to go get a special permit that says I'm allowed to do what I'm allowed to do? And I get it. You're like, hey, But who needs to be walking down the street with a gun? It could be dangerous. It could not be dangerous. If if your point is we shouldn't have guns that accessible, then here's what your point should be. We need to repeal the Second Amendment. That's what your point should be. Well, no, we don't want to repeal the Second Amendment. We don't want to take your guns. Well, if you don't want to take them and you don't want to repeal that amendment, if I'm not doing anything unsafe, why do you want to stop me? Why do you have a problem with the guy walking down the street with a gun? Why is that a problem? It's his constitutional right. And you're saying you want to limit his constitutional right because you don't like it. It makes you uneasy. It makes you uneasy. Apply that to any other constitutional right. It seems weird. It seems weird. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I mean, again, under certain circumstances, you have to ask for permission to assemble. You got to get a permit to do this, or you got to get a permit to have a group of people in a certain spot. But imagine if every time I just wanted to mind my own business and assemble with my friends, I had to get a permit or ask the government for permission. Excuse me, government, can I have permission to go over a Jim and Tommy's house and us stand outside on the street and have a conversation? Okay, where's the paperwork I need to sign? And what, it's $100 fee? All right, there you go. Now, Jim and Tommy, hey, I got a permit. We can stand out on the street and assemble. That sounds weird. That sounds crazy. I don't like the gun violence that's happening. But I was reading a story where since Memorial Day weekend, we've had, is it 7 or 12 mass shootings in the United States over the past couple of weekends? Either 7 or 12, I don't remember which. You know, the definition of a mass shooting is an event where 4 or more people were shot. I really think you're going to stop that because you see a guy walking down the street with a gun and you say, I don't want to see that. Let's do something about it. And he may have been attempting to provoke something. And if that's the case, don't be provoked by him. If he's not walking up to you, if he's not threatening you, don't be provoked by him. Be aware. Be aware. But we're at a point where we need to just be aware, period. All of the things that are going on in the world, really, ain't we at a point where we just flat out need to be aware? Just period. Hold on a second. Put a little something there. See if I can do this without falling. We're at a point where we just need to be aware. Here's the story I saw. This is the world that we live in. This is the world that we live in. Wednesday, June 8th, 9:20 a.m. in the Bronx. 2 men dressed as FedEx deliverers had on FedEx shirts, like official FedEx uniforms, and they were carrying a package. They pushed their way inside of an apartment and shot a 23-year-old man in the chest. Police say he's in stable condition. The robbers took off with his cell phone inside of a black Nissan Rogue with a Connecticut license plate. This is the world that we live in. You can't even open your door for the FedEx man because it might be somebody there to rob you. And I watched the little video. They come up, they got a package, they got on their FedEx hookup. I would have thought it was the FedEx man. I would have been a little curious. Well, I guess I wouldn't have seen both of them. But I would have been a little curious. Why does it take 2 FedEx men to deliver this one small package? But you got to be aware of everything. You got to be aware of everything. Angela says, I just watched the chair breaking on YouTube and I am weak. Hey, don't laugh at me. It's not funny. It's not funny. But yeah, you gotta be aware of everything in the society, and you can't legislate all of the things that you have to be aware of. You can't legislate it away. You're not gonna be able to do it. Now what? Let's have a bipartisan summit on people wearing uniforms for companies that they don't work for. Somebody got shot in the chest by it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to legislate this stuff away. We live in a terrible world where you, as an American, need to have your head on a swivel. Maybe not as maybe not as bad as some other places. I hear some places in Mexico are terrible. Like they kidnap people on a regular basis and hold them for ransom. Children. We don't deal here because I hear in certain places in the Middle East, and again, I keep saying, I hear. Because I haven't been there. But I hear certain places in the Middle East, you gotta keep your head on a swivel too, because a suicide bomber might come rolling up and blow up your spot. That's what I hear. So, we're not as bad maybe as some other places. But in America, you got to keep your head on a swivel because you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. From, people stealing your packages off your porch, to you go into a restaurant, you never know if somebody gonna come in. You go to work, you never know if somebody gonna come in and shoot. You go to a concert, you never know if somebody gonna come and shoot. You go to a protest or a rally, you never know if somebody gonna come in and shoot. You go to school, you never know if somebody gonna come in and shoot. But man, the common thing there is the gun. But you're not getting. Come on, let's be reasonable. You're not getting rid of the guns. As a matter of fact, everybody would tell you, we're not trying to take people's guns. We're not trying to take people's guns. It's sad, but I think we just have to accept that this is the society that we live in. We got to accept it and deal with it. Again, I think I put this on Facebook a few days ago or last week or whatever. I was out and about, and for a moment, I was a little bothered because every time I walked in a place, everybody turned and looked. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I went into a restaurant and everybody turned and looked. Sorry, my neck is a little stiff. I slept wrong, and I got this. Well, we don't need to get into that. But everywhere I went, uh, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then it dawned on me, like, Emmanuel, people are just more aware. People are looking when people walk into a place. I walk in looking for the escape routes or the hiding spots because I'll hide. Yeah, I will hide. You let me be in a restaurant and somebody come in and start shooting. If I can't get out, I'm definitely looking for a good hiding spot. Yeah, I think about that when I walk in. So that's I wasn't, when I thought about it, I was like, look, people just don't want to get shot. And I'm not mad at them. It's the world that we live in, and it's not you're not legislating that away. You're just not legislating that away. Also, who are we at war with? Well, let's see. The prosecutor up in Michigan, I didn't get a chance to talk about this, charged the dude. Remember the cop in Michigan who shot the dude in the back of the head, Patrick Lyola? I know I botched his name. He charged him with second-degree murder. He charged him with second-degree murder. That's a good thing. That's good, right? I mean, of course, we have to see what happens. But initially, the activists up in Michigan, they were like, okay, this case needs to go to the attorney general because we can't trust what's the Chris Becker. We can't trust him. His relationship with law enforcement and things that he's done in the past, we can't trust him. But now they're like, look, I'm shocked. We are shocked that he actually charged this dude. It makes me wonder. Again, I don't believe that a lot of stuff is coincidence. I really don't. I believe a lot of stuff is planned out. I believe a lot of stuff is planned out. If you look at here, by here, I mean Cincinnati, Ohio. Look at Cincinnati, Ohio. And remember, I just had his name. The brother got shot in the head, Sam Dubose. And a lot of us, and by I say us, I mean those of us who are skeptical of the motives of Joe Dieters. I know a lot of y'all are not. Y'all believe if Joe Dieters say it, it is so. But I question everything that man said because I don't trust him. But a lot of us thought, ain't nothing coming of this case. He is not going to get charged. And then he charged him. And a lot of people were happy. Like, wow, I'm shocked that Joe Dieters charging. I don't remember exactly what the charge was. But a lot of people are like, I'm so shocked that Joe Dieters charged him. Wow. We're going to get justice. We see how it turned out. So the charging, that's just one part that can be manipulated. Like they can charge for political purposes, even though they know they're not going to put on a good case. Or they know they going to overcharge so that they're not going to get a verdict. There's a lot of things that they can do. Look, do I have any proof that this is what happened? No. It's just what I believe happens. It's just what I believe happens. So when you look at it and you say, okay, he charged him with second-degree murder. Yes. I'm looking at it like he charged him with second-degree murder. Is that something he can prove? Does he have the facts to support second-degree murder? I'm not against it. I'm not against it. But I'm not sure. I don't trust these people. I don't trust these people. So who else are we at war with? We're at war with this justice system. We are at war with this justice system. All of it. The police are misusing their authority a lot of times. Not always, but a lot. Enough to where I could talk about it every single day with a new story. I could talk about it every single day with a new story. That means it's too much. The courts are letting it happen. They're not convicting law enforcement officers who abuse their authority. They, like, to some degree, like the Catholic Church, they just move them around. Give them a slap on the wrist, give them a vacation. You're suspended with pay pending the outcome of the investigation. If the investigation begins to look too bad, we allowed him to resign. No charges are going to be filed. And then he can go elsewhere and get a job and do the same thing. Then we later come back and say, well, he did violate some policies and he did violate that guy's rights, but nothing is going to happen to him. The Justice Department ain't going to come in on what they perceive as some minor stuff, a minor civil rights violation. The courts have ruled enough in their favor. If anything, they are eroding our rights. The Supreme Court I'm talking about. They are eroding our rights as citizens. And it's a minor inconvenience to the citizen, and that'd be all right if we just violate their rights for like 20 minutes. That's a minor inconvenience. They'd be all right. And if it does go to court, the courts don't do anything about it. The courts don't do anything about it. We see how many of these law enforcement officials get away with stuff, get found not guilty. And if they do get convicted, the overwhelming majority of them get slap on the wrist sentences. And then even if they do get some time, like Chauvin's not going to do the same jail time that I would do or that you would do if you murdered somebody. But he got a significant sentence. You think he's doing the same time that you would do if you murdered somebody and the incident was filmed and you were found guilty and sentenced to a long time in jail or in prison? He's not doing the same time. He's protected. Come on. So they protect them that way. These prosecutors, they protect them. They get to decide, well, that was worthy of a charge. And depending on what it is, they're either going to undercharge or overcharge. So yeah, we really are at war on a whole lot of different fronts. I think we just have to be aware of the fact that we're at war. Are we waiting like for an official declaration? Is that what we're waiting on? Like, nobody declared war on us. If you're waiting for an official declaration of war, you're going to end up in a bad position, possibly. It's a strategic war. It's not all out like when you think of war on the battlefield, but it is a war. We are under attack. Our freedoms are under attack. And to some degree, here in America, our democracy is under attack. Anybody been watching these January 6 hearings? I've caught a little bit here and there. They haven't said anything that I didn't know. They haven't said anything that most of us didn't already know. Most of us already knew, number one, Donald Trump lost the election. We already knew that. So we're getting a lot of that. Well, they're kind of proving that Donald Trump's people told him that he lost. I believed the whole time that there had to be some reasonable people with Trump to tell him, like, bruh, come on, man, you lost. You lost this one. And that Donald Trump was like, I don't care. I'm going to say I won. And Donald Trump's thing is, his thing seems to really be simple to me. If you tell a lie and you repeat that lie enough times, people begin to believe that that lie is the truth. I mean, it's an old principle, but Donald Trump takes it and he takes it to another level. And you can present him with proof. You can present him with like indisputable proof. And he'll still say, that's not true. That's fake news. And people are like, the people who follow him, like, yeah, that's fake news. You're like, no, it's proof. Like, it is, like, you can't prove it any more than this proves it. You can't prove it anymore. No, he said it's fake news. It's fake news. What is going on? So yeah, he hatched that policy, which I had a feeling was going to be his policy if he lost. Just say you won. Just say you won. And keep saying it. And people going to believe it. Some people going to believe it. So, that's what he's doing. And so that's kind of so far what they're proving. That's so far what they're proving. He lost. His people told him he lost. And that's that. But he's still out there saying it. And he's got millions of people. Y'all know that there's a good chance. There is a good chance. And there is a good chance that he'll win in a couple years. Like legit, a good chance. All those people that voted for him, a good majority of them will vote for him again. And the thing is, there's a lot of people who will, thank you, almost like on cue. Almost on cue. Can they please use all that energy to get gas prices down? So there's a lot of people who will look at the price of gas and say, I'm not going to vote for Trump, but I'm not voting for the Democrats because the price of gas is too high. And I think there's enough of these, I believe weak-minded people who will sit out this election. And then next thing you know, you'll have Donald Trump in office again. D says, hopefully, he'll be in jail. But we got to worry about these copycats running. Do you really believe he going to jail? I just show of hands, thumbs up if you believe that there's a more than 70% chance that Donald Trump is going to jail. Throw a thumbs up there. Throw a thumbs up on the screen. Thumbs down if you believe ain't no way this man going to jail. They not gonna do nothing to him. I'm in the thumbs down category. No part of me believes that Donald Trump is going to jail. Do I believe he deserves to go to jail? Sure. Sure. There's no part of me that believes that there's a chance that he's going to jail. I'm thumbs down on that. But if you believe he might go to jail, give me a thumbs up. That New York DA at his neck. Okay, you believe that. All right. Angela says no. Crystal says no. Ben says, what does Trump have to do with getting prices down? I never mentioned his name. You never mentioned his name. That wasn't the point that I was making. I wonder sometimes about y'all. Y'all can't follow simple. And I use like really simple logic because I'm not that smart. Sean says no. Janice believes he's going to jail. Okay. Brian believes he's going to jail. All right. All right. So we got a couple y'all. We got a couple y'all who believe he will. Scott says no, he ain't going to jail. Scott say no. Gloria say no. Rick says no. Benita, she's in between. Okay, I feel you. I feel you. I don't think he's going to jail. I believe he'll be running in 2024. And I believe that there's a chance that he'll win. Angela says a complete waste of time and energy following this. Why do you say that? Because look, I'm fascinated by stuff like this. So I'm watching it. Just there's something about knowing the behind the scenes stuff or hearing the behind the scenes stuff that you believed the whole time, but now you get first-hand accounts of it. I believed that a whole lot of these people told him that you lost. And he just decided, no, I'm gonna do. And just think about this, y'all. One crazy, I can't think of enough words to describe what I'm trying to say. Demented, narcissistic dude. One dude trying to bring down our democracy. One dude. Oh, hold on, let me. Says, this is what your show about today, the January 6th committee shenanigans. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear that. So, if you leave, we'd be okay. That's all that I talked about so far today, and that's all I intend on talking about. So if you don't want to hear it, no, I won't be mad at you if you leave. Not even a little bit. All right. But I'm not going to say the man a demon. But it's one dude who's been able to manipulate. I don't want to say brainwash because he ain't doing nothing to brainwash people. He's just lying over and over and over. Oh, Ben says, say no more. Have a great day. He's just telling the same lies over and over and over. And it's working. And I think it's working. I don't even necessarily believe that the people who say they believe him actually believe him. You might have one or well, you might have some idiots who believe it. I think the overwhelming majority of these people, they just kind of believe in what he stands for to this degree. He seems like a really hateful dude. And that's what he's kind of sowing seeds of hate. And if I'm a hateful dude, like if I hate gay people and he hates gay people, I know he lying, but he do hate gay people. If I hate black people and he hates black people, look, okay, I know he lying, but he do hate black people. So I gotta be on his side. I really believe that that's what's going on. P Valley people. Okay, I don't know nothing about that. Janice says the only reason Trump won't go to jail is because the Democrats are trying their best not to appear like a third world country who prosecute their outgoing party merely for retribution. It can become retroactive. I don't think that's the only reason he's not going to jail. Look, he's white. Oh, that don't matter, man. It does matter. Stop. Y'all know if Barack Obama had done what Donald Trump has done and continues to do, but especially with regard to that January 6th, if Barack Obama had lost the election, held a rally, and told black people to go storm the Capitol and that the election was stolen and black people went and stormed the Capitol, number one, there would have been a whole lot of dead black people in the Capitol. That vote wouldn't have been postponed and they'd have just shot dead black. They would have just, because they would have never made it into the Capitol. Just to be completely honest, if Barack Obama had did this and held such a rally, remember how they had all of the National Guards posted on all of the little monuments and stuff like that around DC when the Black Lives Matter protests and the George Floyd protests were going on. If Barack Obama had done that, black people would have never made it to the Capitol. It wouldn't have happened. And they would have impeached, convicted, and then arrested and charged Barack Obama. That's just, of course, it's speculation because it didn't happen, but it's reasonable speculation. Come on. Come on. So, yeah, part of why he won't go to jail is white privilege. He's white. He's wealthy. And as it stands now, he's powerful. Lewis says, what politician does not lie over and over and over again? See, there's a difference. Like, y'all, some of y'all try to act like all lies are created equal. And all lies are not created equal. They're not. And there's a difference between spin and just an outright lie. There's a difference. I would say all politicians spin, which involves some degree of dishonesty. But that's totally different than what Trump and his administration did. Like they told flat out lie. Like y'all remember, and I don't remember exactly what they were lying about, but it was early on in it was early on. Oh, let me put that up there because I'm gonna deal with that in just a second. Hold on, not that one. That one. I'm gonna deal with that in just a second. Early on in the administration, they said things that were factually inaccurate, just flat out lies in interviews with the media. And they were called on it because, people can check things out. And, people fact check things. And so some of those same people who went out there to do those interviews and they lied, later on, people said, well, hold on. And they would play a clip of them. Once the truth has finally come out, they would play a clip of them. And I'm going to just make something up because I don't remember exactly what it was. But here, see here? And it's a clip of this particular administration official saying, 2 plus 2 is 5. So I'm not sure that that's the case. No, 2 plus 2 is 5. So later on, he's on and they're saying, see here, you said 2 plus 2 is 5. We went and checked and we found out that 2 plus 2 is actually 4. And y'all remember what they said when they got busted lying to the media? Anybody remember what they said? Not alternative facts yet. Not alternative facts yet. Alternative facts came a little later. But their initial response to getting caught lying was, and I'm not making this up, you can go look it up. There's video of them saying this. I wasn't under oath. I had no obligation to tell the truth. That was a guy from the media. I got no obligation to tell him the truth. I wasn't under oath. That was their response. When they got caught lying, their response was, so I lied to the American people and to a reporter. I wasn't under oath. I have no obligation to tell y'all the truth. I'm not making that up. It actually happened. I don't remember. I want to say it might have been Dennis Miller, but I'm not sure. I might just be putting that on him. Anybody else remember when they said that? Got caught lying and they said, I have no obligation to tell you the truth. I have no obligation to tell the American people the truth. I wasn't under oath. And then I guess that didn't play well. So then, Kellyanne Conway uttered those famous words now, alternative facts. We were giving alternative facts. So yeah, there's a difference now. A lie is a lie, just like a sin is a sin. I've always hated when people say a sin is a sin, because that's not necessarily true. There are levels of sin. There are levels of sin. I could explain it to you, and if pressed, I will. But no, there are levels of sin. Yes, like levels of sin. No, God looks at sin as sin. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And just like there are levels of sin, there's different levels of lying. There's different levels of lying. That's just the truth. I mean, and if you don't believe that, if you don't understand that, then there's something wrong. These people have been lying since they said George Washington was the first president. There are different levels. Did everything that Barack Obama said, was that true? No. When Barack Obama said, because this is one that for whatever reason I can remember, when the Affordable Care Act, he was pitching that, and he said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And there were certain circumstances in which you couldn't keep your doctor. And he knew that. He knew that. It was so what you could look at it and say, well, that was a lie. That was a lie. Okay. But that's not the same as just stating something that can be detrimental to the people as fact when you know it's not true. But Emmanuel, that's what you just now said Barack Obama did. Again, there are levels. Obama, a killer liar too. And again, I'm not saying that, but okay. Here is when it was brought up and people figured it out. Everybody can't keep a doctor. Barack Obama didn't, as they say, double down and say, yes, they can. He knew it wasn't true. He had to kind of try to explain it away. I was talking about the majority of Americans, whatever. But he didn't double down and then triple down. Mr. President, you said when you were pitching the Affordable Care Act that if you liked your doctor, you could keep your doctor. And with these plans over here, even if you love your doctor, you can't keep your doctor. How do you explain that to the American people who believed you and supported the Affordable Care Act? Well, they can keep their own doctor. But no, Mr. President, they can't. Yes, they can. It's fake news. They can keep their doctor. But, sir, it's right here. It says that they can't. That's fake news. But this is your plan. It doesn't say that. I can read it to you, Mr. President. That's not what it says. Come on. There's a difference. Barack Obama would have been run out of office. So don't try to, act like they right there on the same level. All lies are not the same. It's like all sins are not the same. All right, let me move on. I'm sorry I had to go back to it. This was the other story that I wanted to put in with all of the pride stuff in the beginning, and this is a lot of people's issue with the LGBT community and the gay agenda. And don't tell me there's not a gay agenda, because there is. In certain countries, Pixar's Lightyear, that movie about the Toy Story character, has been banned. Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, the United Arab Emirates. Because apparently, there's a same-sex kiss in the movie. Why? Why do you have to put that in a movie for kids? Why do you have to put that in a movie? The scene involving a new lesbian space ranger character named Alicia and her partner starting a family together and greeting each other with a kiss on the lips had originally been cut from the film. But it was reinstated when Pixar animators spoke out against Disney in an open letter saying that Disney had demanded cuts, censoring overtly gay affection. Why? Why even put that in the movie? Why put that in the movie? I mean, unless it has some bearing on the story, which I still never seen any of the Toy Stories. I'm not against them. I just never saw them. I just never saw them. But why even put that in the movie? Let's see. Brian says we need to stop accepting that lies and deception is okay, part of the job. Stop. No passes, period. Who benefits from telling black people to wait till they die to get theirs? Same concept. Oppressors have us accepting lies. Okay, Brian, quick question for you. Are you one of those people who believes that all lies are created equal? Because I agree with what you're saying. Because I don't think I'm saying that lying is okay. Because I'm not. But all lies are not created equal. All lies are not created equal. And especially when your lies are creating such a rift or helping to create such a rift, it becomes much more dangerous than me saying, when I was 10 and the dog ran away because I was careless, me saying, I don't know how the dog got away. All lies are not created equal. That's all I'm saying with regard to that. D wants to know, wasn't Walt Disney homosexual? I have no idea. D, was Walt Disney homosexual? Is that what you are currently claiming? Because I have no idea. None. I've not studied the sexuality of Mr. Walt Disney. D says he was. How do you know that for a fact? Did he come out? I'm not saying that you're lying or anything. I genuinely don't know. But you're saying, what, did he come out as gay? Walt Disney came out and said, I'm gay. I'm homosexual as hell and I'm supposed to be homosexual. Like, what is that what he did? How do you know that for a fact? Or are you just guessing? Documentary on his life. What documentary did you watch that said that he was gay? I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Jackie says a lie is a lie. Well, you can't argue with the fact that a lie is a lie, but there are different levels of lies. Like a car is a car, but there's a whole lot of different kinds of cars. The History Channel had one on. When was this? I'm beginning to not believe you, D. I'm beginning to not believe you. When was this? So yeah, a lie is a lie. I can't debate that a lie is not a lie. A lie is a lie, but there are different levels. Like, y'all frustrating me by not just acknowledging the truth that there are different levels. Every lie is not created equal. How can we not agree with that? How can we not agree with that? So y'all putting, just so that I understand, because this is what y'all saying with a lie is a lie. Remember, what was it, Thursday, Wednesday? The little baby was here, my granddaughter, and she had gotten slime on the dresser. And the little baby said, I don't know how it got there. It did it itself. You're saying that's the same level of lie as Donald Trump saying he won the election. Even seeing how that led to people attempting to overthrow the government and people died because of it, you're saying that little baby is on the same level of lying as Donald Trump. That's what you're saying. Because that is what you're saying if you say a lie is a lie. Yeah, a lie is a lie, but there are different levels. There are different levels. Stop acting like y'all don't know it. What was the name of this so-called documentary? That's what that's what I want to know. I'm thinking somebody might be lying. Somebody might be lying. And again, this lie ain't on the same level as some other lies. Just curious. Just curious. All right, let's see. Oh, man, time is getting short. It is 2:30. Jackie says, "You're wrong, Emanuel. A lie is a lie." Jackie, what did I say that was wrong? See, again, this is one of those things where maybe y'all need to learn how to word what y'all saying. Jackie, you said a lie is a lie. And I said, well, I can't argue with that factually. A lie is a lie. So where is that wrong? You said a lie is a lie. I said, okay, technically, yes, a lie is a lie. What did I say that was wrong? D says, D is too tall to lie. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Jackie, I'll keep looking because you said I'm wrong. And so I really want to see what I was wrong about because I like to correct myself. But just to recap, you said a lie is a lie. I said I can't argue with that. A lie is a lie, but there are different levels. You said you're wrong. A lie is a lie. What was I wrong about? What did I say that was wrong? And I'll wait for that comment to come in. Brent says, a car is a car, but a Chevette showed up ain't no Lexus LC 500. That ain't no lie. But a car is a car. There are different levels. Nicole says, I think people confuse blatant lies, like the 2020 election was stolen because of wide voter fraud, with broken promises, like making the wealthy pay their fair share or eliminating student loan debt. It's not so much a lie as it is an effort that has, and that's all that'll fit on there. So let me go here so I can see it. It's not so much a lie as it is an effort that has failed or not yet achieved. People tend to conflate the two, like both parties are untrustworthy. All right. Raz wants to know what color is that jacket. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. With your flair for color and design, you should be able to tell me what color is it. It's not quite purple. It's not quite pink. So now you tell me, Raz, you are the color man. You tell me what color it is. That's right, but a room is not a house, and a house is not a home. Raz says it's pink. All right, so I'll if you want to believe it's pink, I'll take your word. It's pink. All right. Yes, he seems to have a flair for the colors. A flair for the colors. Let me see. My time is almost up. Still waiting. Still waiting on who was it? Jackie to tell me what I was wrong about. I think this might be the second time in the show where I said something and the person just couldn't comprehend what I was saying. And because they lacked the ability to understand, they came to the conclusion that I was wrong. The second time in one show. Oh, I need to get that. I need to get that seminar going. Brenda says lie levels. Lie levels. What's your question? Are you asking me, are there levels? Yes. Emanuel, 200 pounds, 300 pounds is overweight. Not necessarily. See now that? There's a lot of people who are 2 or 200 pounds that are not overweight. If I'm 6'5", 6'9", 7 feet tall, there are people who are 7 feet tall, and I'm 200 pounds and I'm fit, am I overweight? So that's just a terrible blanket statement. Jackie says ugly is ugly. That's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen some women that people said were ugly, and I looked at them and I was like, she's gorgeous. What are you talking about? I've seen people say Lupita is ugly. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So maybe your definition of what a lie is about being 100% subjective. So you don't actually know what a lie is. And that is understandable. You think people who don't agree with you are lying. Who you got tonight? Boston or Golden State? I'm rolling with Golden State. Even though I do think it's going to go 7. I do think it's going to go 7. But here, let me do this last story. I got 20 minutes, so I want to get this story in, and then I might talk a little bit about that. But on the very much less serious, if you want to call it that, D.L. Hughley and Monique. This feud is I want to say is getting out of hand, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. Apparently, now Monique, DL saying she's a monster. She's a monster because, she brought up something about him where he was doing an interview and he talked about his youngest daughter being, I'm going to say, molested by someone. And he says, my youngest daughter said that it was something that happened to her. And because it was somebody I liked, I didn't believe her. He says, I'll never get that back. And Monique says when she was on stage and she talked about his wife sucking the D of a coward, this is what she meant. And Hughley says that's the final straw. He says it's the last breath he'll waste on a monster so heinous. They would try to open a wound and weaponize a young woman's past personal trauma. And his other daughter came out and said she was a monster and all of that kind of stuff. He says, I know I said that I had done all I could hear about this whole Monique situation, but over the weekend, her and her husband released a video where I was doing an interview and I detailed my daughter's sexual trauma. Monique has taken that video and perverted it for her own uses. She decided to add her own narrative. And so he's furious. He's furious. I'm sorry, I'm still Team Monique on this one. I'm still Team Monique on this one. Look, all is fair in love and war. And if we beefing and you saying stuff about me, I'm going to say stuff about you. And there is no line too far. There is no line too far. And if you didn't want people to know about your daughter's sexual trauma, why bring it up? If it's so personal and private, keep it personal and private. if you bring it up, you gotta know people might talk about it. I talk about that little baby. I put a video of the slime. What I look like getting mad because somebody bring up the fact that the little baby got slime on the dresser. I brought it up. Emanuel, that's different than sexual trauma. Yeah, it's different. But the point is still the same. You don't bring up things. If nobody knows it, don't bring it up, and then nobody can use it to throw it in your face. DeAndre say, DL been talking crazy about Monique. Now she on his neck. Nat says, why they got to bring family into it? Why not? If we beat Nat, I'm telling you right now, if we start beefing and you start calling names, I might start talking about your family, especially if you don't put something out there about your family. Yeah, I'm bringing that up. Don't start none, won't be none. I don't understand all y'all think that there's a such thing as a fair fight. I don't understand y'all. What does his daughter have to do with a contract being a headliner? Nothing. But that wasn't the point she was making. The point she was making with that is that he was a coward. What does her playing in Precious and him calling that her autobiography, what's that got to do with whether or not she was the headliner? They both saying stuff that ain't got nothing to do with who was the headliner on the contract. Both of them. She just getting his ass. She just getting him. And now his whole family mad. See, that's how you know you winning. When you battling with somebody and they whole family crying, you know you winning. You know you winning. So you are Team Monique and her daddy. I don't know her daddy. I don't know her daddy. Hurt people. All right. Just making declarations. Nothing wrong with that. DL brought a shank to a gunfight. Yes. Yeah. Now she tearing him up on every level. Again, see, this is my take on it. And it's been my take on it. I don't know exactly what went on behind the scenes. All y'all who, anti-Monique on this, y'all can win me over if y'all do one thing. Tell me not what DL said, he said or didn't say, because as we all know, people lie. You tell me what you know for a fact. What did DL say to Monique? Tell me that. Of course, I pointed out because you don't know. You don't know what he said to her backstage. We don't know exactly what happened backstage. Somebody, I think it was Nicole, said, well, DL said that he didn't say nothing to her backstage. So DL can't lie? Well, he said it on his podcast. Oh, because we all know when you're on a podcast, it's impossible to lie. We don't know what was or was not said. She needed to go to the promoters. She was wrong. Well, according to her, she went to the promoters. And then something else happened. So, Tessie, are you telling me you know for a fact that DL Hughley didn't say something exceptionally disrespectful to her backstage? Monique is ridiculous, and it only makes her look like a buffoon to stretch so far into the universe to rational her rant about not headlining. She went from contracts to old interviews to his kids. That's right. They battling now. They battling. And when you're battling, all is fair game. And again, Nicole, you don't know what he said to her backstage. We don't know. Monique calls her open relationship husband her daddy. Keep that daddy talk to the bedroom. See, if that's the case, I don't really follow Monique like that. Like, I'm not a fan of Monique. I don't really like Monique. But I like what she's doing here. I like what she's doing here. She is brainwashed by her zaddy, and she needs to take 1,000 seats. How you know she brainwashed? How you know she brainwashed? Let's see. Monique is hurt by people she put unrealistic expectations on. That's one of the reasons she is lashing out at them. What unrealistic expectations did she put on someone? To respect her? I don't think that's unrealistic. Be respectful to me. Don't ask me to do work for free to promote something that you gonna get paid off of, and I'm not gonna make no money off of it. That's not unrealistic to me. What other unrealistic expectations did she put on people? What other? Tessie says, I believe she also said he said not a word to her. Oh no, let me just break this down. You believe. Okay, that's all I needed. So you don't know for a fact. Go find out. Go find out. Find where Monique ever said she spoke to DL backstage. I'll wait. Well, you can go ahead and wait. I'm not looking for it. I didn't say that he did. You said that he didn't. How can you prove that? How can you know that? The proof ain't on the person who didn't make a factual statement. The proof is on the person who did. So you go find proof, and I'll wait. Is her daddy really a zaddy? Could he be your zaddy? I don't know what a zaddy is. I'm sorry. I'm old and I don't know what any of that stuff means. Monique tore his ass up. Now he got to tuck his tail and run. And see, the thing about it is, ain't neither one of them funny to me. Ain't neither one of them funny. So really, they both need to stop. They both need to stop. But if they gonna go at it, I like Monique. If we going, I'm going hard. I like that. Tessie says, no, I don't. But if she felt like she was done wrong, she could have walked away. Again, a promoter issue. Couldn't he have walked away? He could have not addressed it at all, but he chose to, right? Stop trying to give him a pass. Stop trying to give him a pass. They both fed into it. They both played it up. They both talked about it. And now she tearing his ass up. Your phone died. I'm sorry to hear that. He says, facts. I'm not a fan of Monique. Me either. DeAndre says, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And see, that's the thing. Like, he got a show, he got a whole platform that he used to weaponize against Monique. All she got is her. And she tearing his ass up. She tearing his ass up. Monique is not winning this battle. She is losing badly. She is you using racist stuff, that only disrespects her own people and takes up for white women. DL was disrespecting a black woman. And she's not losing. I'm telling you, Lewis, if me and you get into it, and when all is said and done, I'm cool, but your whole family is over in a corner crying because of something I said. I just objectively speaking, I won that battle. I won that battle. Replying like me, okay? Jenna says, when two people are in a debate and one deviates to another totally unrelated topic during that debate, they have lost that debate. Monique should stick to the contract, period. But, Janice, what about DL? Remember, he talked about Precious and that being an autobiography and all that. That ain't had nothing to do with the contract. What about that? Come on, y'all can't put it on Monique and say, no, Monique, you just stick to the contract. Let him talk personally about you and your husband. Let DL dog you and your husband out personally, but you just talk about the contract. No. Mm-mm. You talked about me. You talked about my husband. I'm talking about you, your wife, your daughter, your mama, anybody else that I can think of to talk about. But it's only her who deviated. Come on. DL won't be the last one. She'll have another public issue soon enough. If people just stop disrespecting her. Okay, let's take this issue away. Because some of y'all, for whatever reason, y'all blinded by DL. Which again, I don't think he's funny at all. Like, at all. But that's just my personal opinion. Apparently, there are millions of people who love him. So one man's opinion is just that. But other than that, where was she wrong in her assessments of things happening? Where was she wrong? I heard what Monique said with her zaddy in a 2-hour goofy rant. Hold on. You listened to a 2-hour Monique rant? How invested are you in this? And why? Why are you that invested? To listen to Monique rant for 2 hours on a podcast. Why are you that invested in this? Just curious. Just curious. Let's see. She was paid for her role. It only benefits you to promote the project. How does that benefit her to promote the project? If she already got paid for the role and there was not a part of the contract to promote the movie, and she doesn't get anything on the back end, like say you pay me, you, Samuel, pay me $1 million to shoot a movie that you're shooting. And you don't put in the contract that I have to promote the movie. And I don't get any of the money from, what the movie makes. I don't get anything on the back end. How does it benefit me to go out and promote your movie that I've already been paid for? How does that benefit me? Because if I promote it and it made $1 billion, well, you just made a whole lot of money. I still only made $1 million. The only thing I agree with you on this subject is that neither are funny comedians. I doubt that that's the only thing that you agree with me on. I bet I could find at least 4 other things. So let me see. DL was funny during the Kings of Comedy stint, and before his last few specials have been average at best. Now, I enjoy his notes from the GED section. All right. I didn't think he was funny even on the Kings of Comedy. I really didn't. But again, that's just me. That's just me. Oh, let's see. They both need to go on Wild Out and get it off their chest. DL and his family would be, like I said, in a corner crying somewhere. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that. Monique is tearing that ass out the frame. She tearing him up. uh Monique started it. Okay, we 6 now. DL had every right to defend himself, especially after her having a full-blown sucker attack right before he was to close the show. Again, you don't know what happened backstage. So to say that she started it, she might have just been responding to something. So that's something we don't know. That's number one. Number two, sure, he had a right to defend himself. But did he have to? Because if y'all point is, why is she talking about his family? She got a right to talk about his family. She got a right to. He talked about her husband. He talked about her family. So don't she have a right to respond in kind? See, the thing is, if, like he said he gonna do, if he wanted to end, stop talking. Stop talking. Don't bring it up. Don't talk on it. Just leave it alone. Because you clearly can't hang. She tearing that ass up. So DL need to just shut up. But if he got a right to go off the contract, she got a right to go off of the contract. Samuel says, I think talking about children is off limits. Well, that's you. I don't think anything is off limits. I don't think anything is off limits. Like I said, I talk about your kids. I talk about your dead kids. I talk about your grandmama. I talk about whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just because if you don't want that, because again, like Monique say, which I don't know if this is true, but Monique say she ain't start nothing. And I guess this is why I identify with her and support her. I don't know it to be true. So, Nicole, I'm not stating as a fact that Monique didn't start it. I believe her, but I'm not saying it's factual. See that difference there? See the difference there? But I identify with, I didn't start it. But if you started with me, oh, we going. We going all the way. And don't tell me nothing is off limits. Because if you wanted stuff off limits, you would have just not started it. DL resorted to that dialogue after Monique went on stage and disrespected his wife and mother. Okay, Janice, what did he say to her backstage? Tessie says, I still think she a whole clown along with her clown husband. Well, they're both clowns. DL and they're clowns for a living. That's what they do for a living. They clown. So, you're right. There's no change in E-Man's mind. He is Mr. Your Mama. I am. And again, Jerica, have I ever talked about your mama? I'm asking for a reason. Have I ever talked about your mama? I'll answer because I don't know what the delay is. No. Why have I never talked about your mama? Why have I never talked about your mama? Because you ain't never talked about mine or started no stuff with me. And if you don't do that, you ain't ever got to worry about me talking about your mama. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I could go through this Tria, have I ever talked about your mama? Guess why? Because you ain't never started no stuff. Shahira, have I ever talked about your mama? No. Why? Because you ain't never started no stuff. That's what I'm saying. That's the surefire way. That's the surefire way. Well, for the most part, to stay out of stuff with people like that. And again, I'm not saying I know for a fact that Monique didn't start nothing, just like I don't know for a fact that DL disrespected her backstage. I don't know any of this stuff for a fact. But for some reason, I just believe her. I believe that she got disrespected backstage by DL. She said that. I believe that. And so I believe her response. I believe her when she says, I don't start nothing with nobody. I don't start nothing with nobody. But if you start with me, I'm going to finish it. I believe her when she says that. And if more people would just listen to people when they say stuff like that and don't start stuff, the world would be a better world. Emanuel, do you think DL was funny at all? I don't. But I'm glad that the brother is successful. Like, I got nothing against him personally. Like, I got nothing against Monique personally. I don't think she's funny. She might have said a joke or two back in the day that I chuckled at, but chuckling ain't funny, you know. So I don't think either one of them funny at all. But I wish them all the success in the world. People hate bullies, and Monique's irrational and dysfunctional attack on DL and his family and Steve Harvey makes her look crazy every time. Only to people who actually kind of like bullies. Only to people who actually kind of like bullies. I think her attack on Steve Harvey, if you want to call it an attack, which I didn't think she attacked Steve Harvey, she just told the truth about Steve Harvey, a truth that a lot of us have seen over the years. That's all she did. Steve Harvey made herself look bad. Now, is she attacking DL? Yeah. Which even more makes me believe he attacked her. Nicole says, I listened to you. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let me see. Does residuals count? Only if that's in the, everybody don't get residuals. Everybody don't get residuals. How long is this show? I've been work killing time with talk radio. Quit asking ridiculous questions. These are not ridiculous questions. These are amazingly pointed questions. He wasn't funny on the King of Comedy. A lot of people didn't think he was funny. I really did. I never thought he was funny. When DL goes low, Monique goes lower. That's right. That's right. I would agree. Most comedians are not, both comedians are not my favorite. Oh. Bias. You would make a horrible juror. Well, no, if we were trying facts, I would make a great juror. You would make a horrible juror. Here's why I say I would make a great juror. If this were to some degree, if this were to go to some sort of trial for something. Listen to what I've said. I don't know either of those things for a fact, and I'm calling for people to prove things to me factually. Do I believe her story? Yes. Does that mean I accept her story as a fact? No. You, on the other hand, because D.L. Hughley said something on a podcast, you accepted it as a straight fact, like 2 + 2 2 is 4, water is wet, fire is hot, and DL said he didn't say this, so he didn't say it. I don't accept facts because somebody said something on a podcast don't make it a fact. So I would be a great juror because I would be sitting there saying, prove it. I got an open mind. I know what I believe. And I think that's what people get into, which this is a different subject, but I think that's what people get into when they go to court and they're trying to get on a jury and they're being asked, can you view this? Can you put aside what you believe? And in their mind, they're like, no, I believe what I believe, so I couldn't be a fair juror. No, I have the ability to put aside what I believe and see what did you prove. Now, what you prove don't necessarily change my mind about what I believe. But I understand, in court anyway, it's all about what you prove. What you prove. Did she prove that he said something to her backstage? No. Now, I could say, I still believe he said it. But I'm sorry, Monique, you didn't prove it, so you lose your case. Whereas you, Nicole, on the other hand, would be like, well, did he prove that he didn't say anything? Well, he said he didn't say anything, and that's just as good as proof because he said it on a podcast, and it's impossible to lie on a podcast. Therefore, DL proved his case, and he wins. That's horrible. I would be a great juror. Great juror. Hear that, Hamilton County? Y'all should send me one of them things making me go to jury duty. Janice is very unprofessional. Even Chris Rock didn't go out and disparage Will Smith. Chris Rock is a class act. That's a totally different situation. That's a totally different situation. How do you know she didn't start it? I didn't say I know. I said I believe. You said you know. You and Nicole were the ones who were stating things as facts. I know I'm gonna have to have a seminar about the difference between what's a fact as opposed to what you just believe. I never stated any of this stuff as a fact. I said, this is what I believe. There you go. There you go, Samuel. Supposedly, DL wasn't in the building till she started her rant. See, he started it with supposedly. That means he heard that from somewhere. He can't verify it, so he can't state it as a fact. But it might be something that he believes, but it's definitely something that he's heard. That I respect. That I respect. DL claims they never talked backstage. See, I respect that too. DL claims they never talked backstage. Okay. But we don't know that to be true. And even if they never talked, it's possible she heard what he was saying to the promoter. So even though you didn't say it to me, I'm sorry, I have to go back to, if I hear Lincoln Ware when I worked at the Buzz, and Lincoln don't say it to me, but I hear Lincoln Ware talking to the general manager, trashing me, Lincoln Ware can say, I've never had a conversation with Emanuel. While I'm sitting there like, he called me garbage. He said I wasn't this, and he said I wasn't that, blah, blah, blah. And Lincoln's like, I never even talked to him. I didn't say you talked to me. I said you disrespected me. So he may not have talked to her. That don't mean he didn't disrespect her. You've talked about me and my mama. That's true. I have. I can't believe some of y'all don't understand the difference between what's factual and what's not factual. It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, See, Janice says, you're right in the sense that people judge other people by the character that precedes them. Unfortunately, in a court of law, Monique would be judged by all of her past relationships. Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. If she could prove that she was right. Tessie says, okay, man, y'all would try to word things differently. Don't necessarily try to word them differently. Try to think about it differently. Because people typically tend to word things the way they think about them. So if you think it's a fact, you say it as fact. I'm a big proponent of question everything and everybody. Everything and everybody. But yeah, she got his whole family around, his daughter, not even the daughter that he didn't protect from sexual molestation. Not even that daughter, a different daughter came out. She made a whole family cry. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, but in terms of a battle, she won. She won. No doubt about it. Okay, real quick, because it's like 3:15. I got to get out of here. I'm rooting for Golden State all the way. I don't like Boston. I don't like Boston's fans. I don't have no beef with any of the Boston players. Actually, I kind of like them all. They good, hard playing guys, and I haven't heard any of them say anything horribly ridiculous. So I like their players. I like the fact that this black coach, and I believe this is his first year as the coach. And so if Boston won, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. But it's still Boston. It's still Boston. So I'm rooting for Golden State. I want to see Golden State win tonight. And then I would love to see Golden State finish it off in Boston. Even though I think it's going 7. I think it's going 7. And I am rooting for Golden State. But either way, it's cool. DeAndre say Nia Long is his wife. I'm not sure about that. I was reading something about Nia Long and what that they're together, but I'm not sure. Are they married? I wasn't sure that they were married. If they're married, oh, that might sway me a little bit because Nia Long. Ooh, Nia Long's fine. And she still ain't bad, but okay. I like that Boston coach is married to Nia Long. Okay. So they are married. Okay. Well, I'll look it up. I can't take your word, Brent. And I can't take your word, DeAndre. I saw something that what I saw, it didn't say that they were married, even though it's quite possible they are. I wasn't reading it like that because he's the coach of Boston. So did you see how silent the Boston fans got when Curry got his superpowers? Let me say this about that daggone Stephen Curry, or as I like to call him, Stephen Curry. Let me say this. I don't know if he might actually have some sort of superpowers, and he just, he do that to make it look like maybe he don't. But the fact that that dude can shoot that ball that well from that far away, that consistently, is just amazing. It's amazing. Not a huge fan of Curry, the guy, because I don't know much about him. I don't know much about him. But when I watch that dude play, I be like, wow. Wow. I can't believe some of the shots that he throw up. And it just looked like he just thought like anybody else. Some of his shots, I'd be like, that's a bad shot. It went in. I guess that was a great shot. Why would you shoot the ball from? Oh, it went in. That was a great shot. It don't make no sense. You triple team. Don't shoot that. Don't shoot. Don't. Why would he shoot? Oh, it went in. That was an amazing shot. I mean, like, it's just, I don't, I don't know. How do you guard that? How do you guard that? Well, I guess they could do like they did in college. Remember, y'all saw the clip where they double teamed him the whole game and just make sure he didn't get. So then the rest of the team was playing 4-on-3, and they ended up winning. So I guess that's one way to keep him from scoring. But yeah, he be shooting like NBA Jam when you on fire. That reference might be over some of y'all heads. But oh my goodness. He really do be shooting like NBA Jam once you done got on fire. I'll be like, oh my goodness. Jeannie says, I can't pronounce his name, and Nia Long have been partners since 2010. Yes. Yes. That was what threw me off, because they used the term partners, not husband and wife, not married. They used the term partners. And I'm like, are they married? I never looked it up because I didn't care enough to know. I didn't care enough to look it up, but yeah. Tessie says, look it up. They are not married, just together. They have a son together. Okay. Janice says some of the best games ever were between the Cincinnati Royals and the Boston Celtics. I don't ever remember the Cincinnati having the Royals. I don't know what year they left. But if it was, I'm pretty sure it was before I was born. I'm not 100% sure. I was born in 70, Janice. Were they gone before 1970? Hold on, let me, somebody should know. Were the Cincinnati Royals still here in 1970? Cincinnati Royals. Cincinnati Royals. Come on. The Royals moved to Cincinnati in 57, where they played to 72. Okay. So they was here when I was alive, but I was 2. Certain things I remember about being 2. The basketball teams that played in the city is not among those things. And yes, I do remember a few things from when I was 2. Only Royals I know is the skating rink. I mean, I knew that the Cincinnati had an NBA team, Cincinnati Royals, which they're now the Sacramento Kings. So I knew that existed. I just wasn't 100% sure when. Okay, Dwight. Look, when people say that, don't dismiss them. Like, I don't remember everything from when I was 2, but I do have little flashes of things that I remember from back when I was 2 years old. Little flashes. Little flashes. For someone who may have just tuned in, this isn't all I talked about today. I talked about a few things. And I'm recapping so that I can go. I talked about the 31 white supremacists who attempted to go to a peaceful pride rally. They got caught in the back of a U-Haul truck. This was in Idaho. They came from, was it 7 or 8 states, piled in the back of a U-Haul truck. And the only way that the police found out about them and was able to stop whatever was going to happen is because somebody called and said, look, I saw a whole lot of men with face masks and shields climbing into the back of a U-Haul truck. Looks like a little army. Police pulled them over. There were 31 grown men in the back of a pickup truck. They had smoke grenade, they had shields, they had shin protectors, and they were going to a rally to start a riot. And I say, be aware of that. Be aware of that as we approach Juneteenth and you're out there at Juneteenth celebrations or commemorations. Be aware of your surroundings because you never know who might be coming to start a riot. Talked about the fact that prosecutors charged the Michigan cop that shot the dude in the back of the head with second-degree murder, and that's kind of a good step, but I can't get too excited about it. I can't get too excited about it. Talked about the drag queen reading event at the library for kids, where you can have drag queens read to the children. And on the surface, there's nothing wrong with drag queens reading to children. Nothing wrong with it. But that wasn't actually their goal. Their goal was to play on the sexual fluidity in children. And that's what they said. I didn't say it. The host of the event said as much. Children are sexually fluid. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing. At this age, we can convince them that there's nothing wrong with it, which is crazy. Pixar, that movie is that Lightyear, banned in a few countries because of a lesbian kiss. A lesbian kiss. They needed a lesbian kiss in the animated movie Lightyear. Talked about the fact that you just got to keep your head on a swivel, no matter what's going on. Two men posing as FedEx workers busted into somebody's house. Like they showed up with full FedEx gear on, with a package, and busted in the door and shot somebody in the chest. Just be aware. Be aware. Talked about constitutional carry. Constitutional carry, which is really the way it should be. It's the way it should be. Shouldn't have to ask for permission to exercise your constitutional rights. And talked a little bit about D.L. Hughley and Monique. The fact that Monique is tearing that ass up. Got his whole family in a corner crying. She won. She won. Other than that, somebody says, wonder if they would have made it to the Pride Fest and the tables turned. All right. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. It's been a very active show. I got pieces of broken chair all around me. My chair literally collapsed on me. And that little baby was sitting here on Thursday, which was the last day that I was on. She was sitting right here. And she looked at me and she said, Papa, why you got that wiggly chair? And I said, well, baby, don't you worry about my wiggly chair. And she said, I'm not kidding, when it break, it ain't gonna be funny. And I thought, it ain't gonna break, little baby. You don't know what you talking about with your little smart ass. But the little baby was right. That little baby was right. She jinxed me. That little baby jinxed me. Look, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I appreciate it, again, from the bottom of my heart. Today was supposed to be Wyatt and myself doing The King and I, but he had some much more pressing stuff that he had to attend to. I can't tell his business, But I will say congratulations. And that's a good look. And I know that don't help y'all because y'all don't know what I'm talking about. And maybe he'll express, if he goes on later today, he'll express what it is that I'm talking about. But Mondays at 1 o'clock, instead of the afternoon experiment, Wyatt and I will do the King and I, where we're doing the show together in the sake of brotherhood. Like, it's not a whole lot of people around here doing talk. And we both just like the idea that it flies in the face of a lot of people that brothers can't work together. You know what I'm saying? We got to be adversarial. That kind of stuff. We eventually going to go back and forth on stuff because we agree on everything. We going to go back and forth. But I like the fact that we can work together. We can, because to me, that's a part of what it is that we are both trying to show. That Black men moving in the same space. Then my stream starts. I don't think that's right. So it might be, but like the fact that it's just two Black men said, "Hey, you doing this? I'm doing this. Why can't we do this together sometimes? We don't agree on some stuff. We don't disagree on some stuff, but let's show everybody that two Black men with different upbringings, different socioeconomic statuses." He ain't gonna talk about the fact that two different socioeconomic statuses, two different outlooks can come together and say, F it, you my brother, and I can work with you. I can collab with you. I love the fact that it's now. Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, static. Frustrating. That's because I'm talking about Black people working together. I'm talking about Black people working together. Go to YouTube and you. But I'm talking about Black people working together and they're killing the stream. But yeah, we'll be together Monday o'clock. Until next time, I hope something amazing happens in your life today.